it happen. They cannot afford to lose. Any loss for them will kill their hopes of the upper bracket. But if RNG wins a single game, that keeps their hopes alive. So let's see which of these squads will take their destiny into their own hands in game number 1 of this BO2 set. Day 4 of the TI group stages. Fluke, I'm not sure how you feel about this, but I feel like this is, in terms of the quality of Dota, this has probably been the best TI we've ever had.
Yeah, I think the quality of games that we've had has been really, really high. I think there's only been a handful of games where, you know, a lot of people come out of it and said, okay, that probably could have been a little bit better. But a lot of the matchups have been really, really close. The fact that we're getting towards, you know, the final set of games. This is our second series out of 3 for today here. And the fact that we're getting towards this point and we're still talking about teams being able to fall out of the upper bracket and going into the lower bracket, still being able to talk about teams that are looking at the tiebreakers, still looking at teams that don't know if they're going to be eliminated or whether or not they're still going to be able to play on in TI. I think that's a really good shout here, and I really have enjoyed the big groups and the massive amount of Dota these guys have had to be able to play and stand up for a consistent amount of time.
Shout out to Misha, getting himself a tip from his mid player BZM because he already got down the adequate vision in the river on the top side, so they'll be able to find a D ward soon on the RNG ward that's been plopped down. We'll see what this contestation will be like over this bounty rune and this all-important game number 1. Who's gonna get the better start of things? Looks like we actually have a small little fight happening on the other side though, because X-Nova held in place by the Fortune's end, and I think his Fortune is about to end itself unless he gets off a huge decay. All right, nice. 12 bonus strength. He's A-okay. Gets the bonus armor as well from the tier 1 tower. Doesn't end up dying somehow.
Did he end up with the rune? Okay, I was gonna say if X-Nova ended up with the bounty rune as well and walks away with his life, that is definitely worth for the side of RNG. But it's not how it does pan out. And now Somnus, this is kind of the issue with this Pangoli in towards the Shadow Fiend combination, is the fact that these triple razors do so much damage. Yes, BZM is completely out of mana now, but this is how the Shadow Fiend really kind of abuses a lot of these melee heroes, and fortunately for Somnus, it's not going to stop. So as soon as this bottle comes up here for BZM, he's going to have the full creep wave to himself, and then he's just going to constantly cop this Shadow Raze spam, and if Somnus isn't careful, he can definitely go down early, and that's why I'm really looking towards these side lanes here for RNG. That's where I think they need to make a lot of their pressure, because if they can, you know, transition and rotate towards Somnus's lane once he hits that level 6 and maybe around the power rune, they can kill BZM, and then that's when they're able to really start to pull this game back here. Well, not pull the game back, but at least start off to a good start here for RNG.
For RNG, you look at their top lane, they're Disruptor with the Dawnbreaker, playing into Nature's Prophet with the Snapfire. If it was a different hero, potentially they might have a bit more kill potential, but nonetheless, they should still be able to find adequate farm for the Chalice Dawnbreaker. For Yuragi in this game, that's one of the things about safe lane Nature's Prophet, is that it can be a bit finicky when it comes to itemization. Which direction do you want to see him go? Because he should have a pretty free time in the laning phase. I don't think he dies really, and Misha, once he gets Fire Snap Cook, he can bail him out of most trouble he could get into. So what do you want to see being built up by the NP down the line?
I think from what we saw from Jabs in that game where he really popped off, I think he just went like Witchblade BKB into like a Desolator. So I wouldn't hate to see him just go for like the raw right clicks, right? Like he definitely needs a BKB this game. He definitely needs a whole lot of that damage, because if he can stand and deliver on the Rolling Thunder, then Somnus is going to have a rough time. You know, Pangoli. Ooh, okay.
Mar.
What the kill?
Big. Okay. X-Nova is out here, starting the game off in a very good state for himself, and being able to bring down the Sand King. This is going to be a bother for Amar for the most part, having this, not just the Tombstone availability down the line, but having Soul Rip at some point will dissuade him from ever trying to get forward and aggress into Ghost, because he knows that immediately the heal will come out and there will be potential turnaround. So, rough start, but should still be fine, I guess. If he's careful, he shouldn't really die again.
Yeah. He should be relatively okay with how this is going, but this is the reason why we're seeing Undying being the hero that he is. So many of these traditional strength offlaners, they just can't deal with Dirge, and the fact that he just constantly spams it going, and now he's just going to stand and get in their face. Oh, that's a little bit unfortunate that the multi-shot only hits on Tiger for a little bit, but that's the reason why we saw Tiger go for this double wave stack up. What he did is he pulled one of the creep waves from the tier 1 tower, walked all the way back to the tier 2, and then TP'd back to the tier 1, so it doubled up the creep waves so then that they can eventually push this wave out. But RNG have just done a fantastic job at making it so that this creep wave has not even gone past their first set of trees. And RNG are doing a really, really good job of just making this lane very, very hard for Amar to play around with. And we talked about the fact that they can play very aggressive, but if they're the ones that are getting run at by a Dirge, like, how are you supposed to kill a guy who's got almost 2,000 HP at level 2?
Seems fair and balanced to me. Top lane, Misha. He gets gone on and you will end up dying. It's one thing if you have Fire Snap Cookie to bail out Yuragi, but not necessarily there to bail out himself. He ends up dying as bottom. They're also going to be going onto Tiger. One more right click coming in from Ghost will enable them to get kills on opposite sides of the map. It does cost the life of this Kaka Disruptor, but who the hell cares? The advantage they've been given will help out a lot. RNG feeling so good in this laning phase. Even this mid lane, it's not a dominating fest for BZM. Somnus is hanging in there in the CS department, not being outstripped massively. Has a wave coming in as well, so it should get CS out of this. And the entirety of RNG starting to feel good in this early game.
Yeah, RNG are definitely feeling A-okay with how this lane is going. I think the biggest thing for me with this Dawnbreaker pick in towards the Nature's Prophet is you actually have a relatively free time against the Natures. You can deal well with these Treants, you can deal well with these auto attacks and get on top of him as well. So OG, they've decided they want to try and make the rotations here. Somnus is dead.
Somnus is gonna die here for sure. Dude, level 2 Purifying Flames. We saw this yesterday as well in their game against BetBoom when Tiger was playing this hero. And it just always shocks me how much damage the spell does in the early game. Good rotation coming in from him. Enables them to get something. And maybe even X-Nova might be in a bit of danger, but nice one. I keep forgetting that level 2 Decay is also pretty damn strong, so he's okay. In fact, they might put pressure onto Amar. He's forced to Burrow Strike himself to safety because he knows that Tombstone is soon coming back off cooldown. But Tiger might not be as lucky in the bottom lane. But he should be okay. It doesn't seem like Ghost is interested in chasing him. Has greater interest in the CS in the lane.
Yeah, they didn't have access to the Tombstone either, so X-Nova is going to lose his career bottom side. I did like that rotation there from OG. They understand that Shadow Fiend is going to be their best way into this game. Their side lanes really aren't doing all too well, and now they're aggressing once again. Somnus is in trouble.
He is indeed. Fortune's End to hold him in position. BCM finds the Razors, and Misha's here as well. They don't even need to throw in that much additional right-click damage because they have it after the Fire Snap Cookie stun. Second kill for Somnus, or onto Somnus rather, in this mid lane. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't go the way of BZM, so he's only gotten himself 2 assists rather than a kill so far. But being able to shut down this Pangolier, who's going to be a massive source of fighting for them. And in fact, they're turning onto X-Nova as well. BZM gets his first kill, picked up the Illusion Rune at the same time. They're not going to be able to clean up the Tombstone, but very good way to start this game for the Shadow Fiend now.
Yeah, BZM is off to a really, really good start. He's doing well in the lane. They've put a lot of resources into his lane as well. Kaka, oh no, you might be in the wrong place, wrong time, brother.
Well, I feel like this mid lane is just a place you cannot play right now, Luke. Everybody who shows up here just gets their cheeks clapped in. They almost brought down BZM. Huge swashbuckle emerging from Somnus, but he didn't have the level 6 just yet, so couldn't try to roll onto him to finish off the kill. As BZM continues to get acceleration from his squad, now involved in 4 kills in this early game. Man, all of a sudden, look at the net worth of the Shadow Fiend at the top of the charts, outstripping the Drow just a little bit, but considering how good a game Drow has had, complete and utter free farm down bottom, this is good stuff coming in from the mid SF.
Yeah, BZM is definitely loving life right now, but same with RNG. They're doing really, really well to have Ghost in a good spot. Charles is having a really good game. I think the only thing for me is just Somnus is starting to fall behind a little bit, and we've seen what happens with these mid-Pangoliers. If you do start to fall behind, it feels like it is a very kind of intricate balance between making sure that your Pangolier is able to kind of be this chaos creator for you and making it so that you still actually have damage behind him. So RNG, they're definitely, not happy with how Somnus's game is going right now, but at the end of the day, he is playing a Pangolier and can make some rotations if he starts getting some of these power runes, and will always be one of those heroes that's going to make the Shadow Fiend's life a little bit annoying. And as long as the Drow Range is having a good time, they have Dust on Amar. Oh, he's
super dead. Gets glimpsed back. You were talking about rotations. We do see the support of RNG showing up bottom. And it's like you were mentioning, right? Chalice has a pretty much free time against Nature's Prophet top, so these supports free to move around as they please. They come to assist Ghost, who continues to just accelerate in this game, getting closer and closer to just forcing this wave out in its entirety. They will get a quick revenge kill potentially onto X-Nova. They have the stun out with the Fire Snap Cookie, and they do find the kill. But at the same time, Somnus gets access to the Solar Guardian. It comes in. Oh no! He bounces Tiger to the high ground. They still find the kill. Now on the rolling blunder. Misha taking
Ghost
quite a
is
bit of damage. Here comes Yuragi though with the teleport, but Ghost has also
everybody's here.
shown up with the multi-shots from the low ground. Going on to BZM. The Shadow Fiend's gonna die first. Yuragi managing to get quick revenge though on the Dawnbreaker as Misha trying to deny himself right now to the Ancients, and yes, he will succeed at getting it. However, it's still a lost team fight at the end of the day, so I'm just swashbuckling outside of the Sprouts of Yuragi. They do have a Burrow Strike, but I don't think Amar wants to take the risk of going to the low ground right now. They're potentially coming back for this one. Man, all these heroes, every hero in the map has been around this dire triangle at the pre-10-minute mark of this game. I think this is a harbinger of things to come, Fluke. It's going to be an action-packed series between these two.
Yeah, OG really want to defend their stacks, and now that RNG understand where these stacks are and how big they actually are, I think they're probably going to make a concerted effort to walk themselves in their chalices at the top side of the map, so they don't really want to push him out. But Drow, oh no, Ghost. It's too bad if he goes down.
Needs assistance, needs help, but will not be getting it. That's the first death onto the Drow. This is such a good read on the map by OG. They recognize that, wait a second, Chalice showed up with the Solar Guardian to try and aggress onto BZM, so that means they don't have it available to come save the Drow. Let's just all in onto Ghost. They cannot save him, and then we push into the tier 1 tower. Phenomenal read of what the situation is, and now they found Somnus as well in the jungle. They might be able to get this kill. He's on so low HP, and Somnus will end up dying. The Wrath of Nature from Yuragi bounces around the map and gets the kill.
Yeah, OG, they're just putting the pedal to the metal right now. They understand that their heroes are really strong with their spells, and they want to try and get this fight going. Okay, so they take down Misha. Amara and BZM are here as well, and this is what I expected from them in the draft. I didn't expect the Shadow Fiend to be the one that's kind of just taking space from them. I thought it was going to be Amara on the Sand King, but yeah, they're just understanding that without this Solar Guardian, it's hard for RNG to have multiple members here. They've already taken down Ghost once. He doesn't have insane amounts of gold just yet on the Drow Ranger, so they understand that there's a small little window for them to try and get this fight going.
Midlane gonna quickly try and bring down Tiger. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. But Yuragi is shown up. Sprout has been dropped down. There will be a Solar Guardian to protect Somnus. And now they potentially try and go onto BZM. Rolling Thunder will be there. The Requiem does come out, but it's not going to be enough to get any counter kills. At the same time, though, Yuragi, with the help of BZM's final Requiem, was able to clean up Ghost. So it is a 2-for-1 in this mid lane. Neither of these squads giving any quarter here, Fluke. But at the end of the day, it is RNG that come ahead slightly from that exchange in this mid lane.
Yeah, I think you're probably pretty okay with how this is going. If you're RNG, they're the ones that got a little bit more gold. But I think the thing for me is, OG, they have, there's Nature's Prophet and the Shadow Fiend. And every single one of these fights, they either get one of the two. They don't get two. I think the thing for me is, Chalice is having a good game here on the Dawnbreaker, but he's going to be playing much more of a facilitator role. Whereas on the other side of things with the Shadow Fiend and the Nature's Prophet, they're both going to be damage dealers. And if Ghost is the one that's going down in these fights, Somnus and Chalice, yeah, they can do a lot of work in these team fights and they can create a lot of chaos. But if Ghost is not surviving and doing the damage for them, then it's going to be really hard for them to try and win these team fights once these BKBs come out, once this extra bit of survivability comes out from Tiger as well. Chalice.
Misha.
Okay, Misha's
gonna end up dead here. Yuragi went onto the high ground trying to hunt down Somnus, but the first static storm of the game gets committed onto the Nature's Prophet. He's being multi-shotted down, and Somnus, who was the target of his aggression, cleans him up with the shield crash. They drag back BZM as well with the glimpse. Kaka doesn't die either to the Death Requiem. So although they lose the tier 1 tower middle, they will end up finding 3. And you were saying right now that they need Ghost for the damage. Well, Ghost comes good in that fight and gets a double kill for his efforts.
Yeah, we were talking about the Nature's Prophet build a little bit earlier on, and he did just pick up the Orchid, so that was the reveal of the Orchid there from Yuragi. He wanted to go up onto the high ground, he wanted to take down Somnus, and unfortunately, the entirety of RNG was standing up there, and they were ready and waiting. We see here in the replay, they went on a Chalice. Chalice is going to be one of the harder heroes to kill. Almost 2,000 HP here on the Dawnbreaker. They blow up Misha, and then they just go, all right, let's try and go on the high ground here with Yuragi. But nobody else can aggress because of this beautiful tombstone that came in from X-Nova. This is the reason I was seeing a lot of these Undyings. It's so hard for you to take space back against Tombstone because you walk in, you don't instantly kill some of these zombies, then you've got 3 or 4 that are punching into you, you're permanently being slowed, and it's just impossible for you to aggress back onto this space. And now OG, a little bit behind the 8 ball here. They're 2 kills behind, but it's not the worst. But the reveal of the Orchid, they wanted that to be a little bit cleaner here from Yuragi. But OG, never fear. The aggression is always here. Let's see if they can take down Ghost.
They want to reveal this Blink Dagger they've just picked up for the Sand King, and they're going to come around. Perfect angle to find Drow, and she is dead too, right? Morty's kisses will drop down onto her face. No option for her to escape away from this. And X-Nova couldn't really do anything as this Undying a bit too far away. Amar might decide to blink after him once the blink comes back online, but I think he's a little bit too far away. Down bottom though, looking like Yuragi might be the one that they try aggress upon because they shield crash him. Somnus outside with the Rolling Thunder. Won't be able to channel it just yet though. Static Storm directly onto Tiger as Amar has shown up. Gets the Burrow Strike. He will get glimpsed back, but it's a little bit too late. They've already found the kill onto Somnus, and now BZM recognizes that Chalice is a little bit out of position. They get the silence out with the Orchid. They get the roots out with the Fortune's End, and they get the damage out with BZM. Tiger will end up claiming the kill, but that's 2 cores brought down on this bottom side of the map for OG. And they're punching back in a very big way here. Despite losing that little skirmish in the mid lane, they make sure to still win out on the map.
Yeah, that was really, really awkward there coming in from RNG. I thought they were just going to commit the Rolling Thunder there from Somnus, but him just not utilizing it means that there was a whole lot of damage that came through from OG, a whole lot of magic damage, and getting that kill there on a Somnus meant that Chalice came in with the Solar Guardian, and then once the Solar Guardian was done, Chalice was stuck here without a TP, and then it was just all bad to worse there for RNG. But OG, they're doing a really good job at just constantly getting this aggression. You can see the vision that they've got down now. Misha really wants to try and control this bottom side of the map. If they take out this tier 2 tower here, we've seen when it has happened in multiple games, right? You take this tier 2 tower, you constantly push in this bottom lane with something like an Aegis Prophet or even a Sand King, and then that means you've got so much more space to play with on top side of the map. Ghost, so he's in trouble.
He's in trouble again. We've seen this movie.
No.
Last time around it ended quite poorly for Ghost, and Amar with the Sandstorm might actually be able to kill Ghost. Fire Snap Cookie enables him to pick it up. Misha with the Scatter Blast brings down the Undying and takes the Tombstone away. Even if they get the kill onto Misha, it's definitely worth it, and they're not even going to find that Tiger on hand with the Fate's Edict to ensure his escape. And OG, this 2-hero gang squad of the Sand King with the young Snapfire has just been so strong across the map, especially with the damage flying overhead from the Wrath of Nature of Yuragi.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, right, is they've got a lot of global gank threat all the time, and that's why you see that Amar just kind of rushed this Blink Dagger. He didn't really have a good time in the lane, but the Blink Dagger rush just means that they've always got kill threat wherever they are. Blink Burrow Strike is going to do a lot of damage. They've got a lot of follow-up with the Oracle as well as the Sapphire, and this is what I talked about, right? You just pick stunts. You just pick like low cooldown stunts that do a lot of damage and they can catch people out. At least Kaka has now found Tiger, so should be able to get this kill. It's going to go Scepter.
I'm not sure they actually get this kill. He doesn't have it. He has a magic wand to pop. He can get off the false promise. And his team is coming. They are going to be able to kill him, but the question is, will they be able to escape with their lives? Amar leading the charge with the Blink Dagger. He will get blown up at the very end, but here comes Amar on the back end with BZM. They're looking for a target. They come across X-Nova and Kaka. Bringing down Kaka first. Somnus goes in with his own Rolling Thunder, trying to make this a counterplay. Solar Guardian flying in, but it gets cancelled immediately somewhere on the map. BZM able to then blow up the Undying. Fire Snap Cookie stuns up Somnus after the Rolling Thunder, and he's going to end up losing his life as well. It's a triple kill for BZM. He's zooming from the mid lane, this best zoomer mid, making this game look easy for OG right now as they now attain a 5k gold lead and win yet another fight in the early game.
Yeah, it was a nice play there from Yuragi. He was sitting on the side of the fight. He was able to just orchid up Chalice. That meant that the Solar Guardian didn't come through, and Somnus was kind of stuck on an island. You can see the initiation that comes in from RNG is good. They caught out Kaka instantaneously. There's no disruptor, there's no static zone they have to play around with. It was a good placing of the Tombstone, and they did a good job to be able to get in the back there. But as soon as Yuragi was able to get that orchid off on towards Chalice, this team fight got really awkward. You can see here on the mini-map as well that Ghost is slowly running up the river, but when you don't have the damage of the Drow around, it's oh so hard for them to play around, and BZM definitely super happy with how that game has been going so far. Oh my god, initiation.
Super happy with that, and incredibly happy with the initiation they found through this mid lane as Amar finds the perfect angle for the Burrow Strike. They follow that up with the Morty's Kisses. And well, that's another massive win for OG. This is certainly going to be a Roshan take for them, because Yuragi, you were mentioning that he's going to go for this Desolator. Didn't buy the Witchblade, went straight in for the Orchid, but now that the Deso arrives, oh, it's a BKB. Okay, yeah. Playing more defensively, but I like it. Orchid BKB with an Aegis in tow for BZM. How do they fight this from RNG? They're going to try right now. Somnus looking for the Rolling Thunder, but he doesn't have a way into this. Shield crash through. Finally gets into the pit, but OG have now read this movement quite well. They know there's no more Rolling Thunder. Chalice isn't nearby, so you can't Solar Guardian in. And there's nothing they can do. At the very least, Ghost is able to kill off the Roshan with the multi-shot. So they get something out of it, a bit of gold. But nonetheless, they cannot stop them just getting this Aegis into the hands of Yuragi.
Yep, nice little snatch there from Mr. Yuragi. It was very hard fought that time around. But OG, they're doing a good job. They understood that once they killed the Dawnbreaker, they don't have to worry about the Solar Guardian. And then Soniqs, was a little bit awkward for him in that initiation. He went down the ramp and he clipped onto the side. So he actually bounced back up the ramp the first time around, and he had to basically do like a very slow 180 to get himself back in towards the pit. And by the time he actually got in the pit, the Rolling Thunder was over, and OG just kind of went, okay, dude, and they walked out. So wasn't really much that RNG could do here. Soniqs is slowly starting to get back into this game, but being at the net worth he is right now, the fact that BZM as well as Yuragi are topping those charts is going to be hard for them. I think the biggest thing for me is they need to try and link up with Ghost here. He doesn't want to have to go into these team fights unless he has these safe items, right? He wants these defensive items. He's going to go for an early Lincoln Sphere here, then he's going to go for a BKB later on. So Lincolns will be able to save him from Fortune's End, save him from the Orchid, save him from the Blink Burrow Strike. So it's going to be a good shout for him to at least be able to react to what's going to be coming in here from OG.
Speaking of reactions, X-Nova went in for a D-Ward. Well, OG are like, how dare you touch our vision? I'm glad it's Misha that got that kill. It's like, hey, you take my wards, I kill you. I was like, okay, sorry, mate. And they can just group up with BZM right now. Yuragi is solo pushing down the tier 2 tower in the bottom lane. They can link up back in the tier 2 and middle and just slowly but surely start to choke out this map. In RNG, there aren't many counterplay options available for them. They do have access to all their ultis again, but man, playing through the double BKBs of BZM and Yuragi is a pretty tough ask for them right now, especially because Amar thinking about going in. He's channeling it. He's just waiting for the right moment. Let's see when he goes in. This is such a tense moment, Fluke. What do you do as RNG? Because you also know that the Sand King is probably doing this, right? That's probably why they're clearing out these trees with Chalice, using the Selly Hammer so they have enough space to scout out the forward momentum jump of the Sand King.
Well, they have BKBs now on their Dawnbreaker as well, so they at least have the tools that they need, but they need to try and get a good initiation. They need to try and get a nice little static sword. They need to try and get a nice use of the Solar Guardian and make sure that there's this good front to back so Ghost can do the damage. Look how much damage to do to BZM early on though, so get this fight going. Orchid's already been used by Yuragi.
Oh, dual Burrow Strike onto Kaka and Chalice. Kaka is gone. He got off the Static Storm before he goes down. It stuns up and silences Tiger on the back end of the fight. In the meantime, Yuragi gets rolled back into as well. Loses out on his first life, but they get immediate revenge by bursting down the Undying. The Tombstone is close to the tier 2 tower instead of close to the fight, so they don't have to worry about the zombies all that much. As OG clean up both supports and now considering going up the high ground, even without the Aegis being online. They saw that the Rolling Thunder is gone, Static Storm is gone, Tombstone is gone. What else does RNG have left to try and dissuade OG from doing this?
Not really much. They at least got the Aegis here, so this tier 3 fight might not be too bad. Another BKB here on BZM, and Charles is going in.
Still got False Promise though, glimpsing him back into position. They want to get this damage out. Chalice, can he escape away with the Solar Guardian? Indeed he can. And they have enough damage ultimately to burst down the SF. Multi-shot, almost kills Amar heads up. He's forced into a Yule, and they don't catch him with the gust. Oh no. Amar allowed to escape. Somnus at the very least able to track down Misha thanks to the swashbuckle. Burnt all his mana away as well, so he can't fire snap quickly to the low ground. And Ghost finds a double kill off the back of this. And although OG are excellent at playing this extremely high-tempo game, we've seen time and time again here, Fluke, that RNG are excellent at high-ground defense, even in difficult games. They demonstrated once more, they keep the tier 3 tower alive even, and they punch OG in the mouth and take a team fight at long last.
Yeah, they did lose a lot of HP on their tier 3 tower though, and I think that was just a little bit of an overstay that came in from OG. I think they felt relatively strong without having the Aegis. They really made RNG work for this fight. You can see here how much damage that goes in onto BZM. They've got a lot of kite ability with the Fire Snap Cookie. They've got a lot of 4-stars as well. Amar still just constantly pump faking this epicenter. The fact that Chalice lives here is pretty massive for RNG. The fact that the Solar Guardian is so hard to deal with for a lot of these players. They would have loved to have killed Amar here, but Ghost just slightly mistiming the Gust, and they didn't really have a good way of stopping his TP either. So RNG did a good job to be able to defend this this push, but I imagine OG definitely not going to take their strength for granted this time around. They didn't have the BKB on the SF, they didn't have their BKB on Yuragi either, they didn't have the Aegis, so I think they were kind of just testing the waters, and they almost got away with it scot-free, to be perfectly honest. They only really lost, what, one hero, and it really wasn't the worst for them.
Yep. Would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for these meddling heroes. They're going to smoke up again. Heading into the Radiant Triangle. Oh,
Ghost.
no, it's Ghost. Ghost. He has a BKB,
Yes,
but he can't
BKB.
get it off. He's been stunned up. Forced off will be there. BKB will emerge. Static Storm dropped down, but it's only onto Uragi. He already has the BKB active for himself. But now Ghost turning around after Chalice came in with the Solar Guardian. Somnus rolling in with the Rolling Thunder. BZM, though, chase Ghost and kills him by himself. They are going to be able to get the control back onto Uragi, though, and bring him down as well. So 1-1 traded, but now Chalice's BKB has expired. So Amar able to stun him up and ensure that they bring him down as well. 2-for-1 exchange inside the Radiant Triangle. Great catch from OG, though, to aggress into Ghost. That was the primary target, and they managed to pick him up.
Yeah, beautiful bit of, just smoke play there as well. Just be able to walk around. BZM understands that taking down this drought here is exactly what they need to do if he keeps getting on top of Ghost. They don't have that much mobility for him. So 4-staff Hurricane Pike moved around the fight, and this is what happens when you have to pop your BKB when you're at like 50% HP. Yeah, you had a DD rune, but you could just see that Ghost wasn't able to move back up the ramp, wasn't able to get back into this team fight, and OG, they just perfectly understand that they have very, very low cooldown stuff for them to just kind of walk in. Like, they've got a lot of cooldowns, low cooldown spells. You know, their BKBs decided to get lower cooldown as well, so they don't really care about the way that they're walking around. You know, 90 seconds isn't too bad for a BKB cooldown, so whenever they have any of this stuff up, they're just going to walk in and they're going to try and take as much space as they possibly can from OG.
OG ahead right now, 11K on the net worth. What's our boy Uragi building out here? So he did get that Witchblade that you were talking about earlier, and he's going in for this Nullifier thereafter. Okay. Nullifier. This is going to be the second game that we see this today. That's just X-Nova, it's fine. Whatever. How do you feel about this Nullifier? Oh, it's changed his mind. Never mind. He's going back for the Desolator. He changed his mind again. Uragi. Okay, let's click on another hero then. But what do you think would be the best option coming in from him, though, at this stage of the game?
I like the Nullifier. The issues that they're having right now is they're getting carded around by 4-staffs, and Nullifiers a 4-staff, right? Because it's a constant purge as long as you're getting the auto attacks in, so you can't get the full distance of the 4-staff. So I don't hate it. I definitely feel like, you know, X-Nova as well as Kaka are probably going to try and move themselves towards like a Ghost Scepter as well. So they have this Nullifier. Not only is it a massive amount of slow, but it also gives them a purge so they can try and play around these 4-stars. Kaka though. Kaka.
Probably. Is he fine? Is he fine? Yeah.
Oh,
no, he didn't TP the fountain. Oh, so he burns to the Orchid. Oh, no. Feels bad, man. That's a rough situation. If he was able to live, then maybe they have like some weird counterplay in the top lane, going in with the glimpse, but regrettably, he dies. Man, he actually died to the final tick as well, coming in from the soul burn. So shout out to Uragi for getting that kill, making life more difficult. And his team in the meantime were taking a tier 2 tower. So this map continues to shrink for RNG. What are their options here, Fluke, to counterplay this situation that they're in? I mean, Somnus does now have a Basher as well, and Ghost has BKB, Hurricane Pike. Is it time to smoke yet, or do they need to wait for one more item, the completion of the Desolator on Chalice, before they can feel confident in moving on the map?
I think, how close is he to Deso? He's still a while, so he's like 600 gold away. Okay, I guess now he's going to have it in 50 gold, so they can play around their Desolator now. They just need to be on the front foot. Honestly, I think this is going to be the tale for RNG, is if they can not be the ones that get Blink Burrow struck, but Amar, they understand, they know what's going on, they found Ghost.
Oh, the one target that cannot be caught out first, but his team bails him out of trouble yet again. He has the BKB trying to run away. Nice little swashbuckle from Somnus, stuns out BZM, and they will be able to bail out Ghost. It does cost the life of Kaka, but Kaka happy to die for the cause. That was so close, and that's the worst case scenario for RNG. But we are starting to get to the point where Ghost is no longer imminently burstable. So that does give some degree of counterplay option for RNG down the line. Not right now, but once he gets the Lincoln Sphere as well, things do get a little bit better for RNG.
Yeah, they get a little bit better that they actually have to try and outplay his Lincolns rather than them just Blink Burrow striking. But you can just see the amount of vision that OG have. It is so simple for them to be able to play around the map, and albeit there might be some smokes that go forward, but as soon as they see this drought range, they go in, and once again, Amar double stun.
This is why he's the only one allowed to play Sand King. Gets the double stun. Will get punished super hard for it though. Straight up killed, and they're gonna smoke. Roshan is coming up soon. Amar realizes this. He knows that he can't give up this positioning, so he buys back. They want to keep themselves on the front foot on the side of OG. And they actually smoke up for RNG. 2 heroes hoping to try and find something here. Pango has also picked up his Blink Dagger as well, so finally Somnus has an additional degree of initiation. As it arrives, they might go for another smoke, and indeed they do. This is going to be a big reveal here, Fluke, if they can catch them off guard. BKB for BZM is still on cooldown for another 3 seconds, but they don't get there in time. Instead, Amar's the one to initiate. He finds the X-Nova Undying, and they've already gotten the 1 kill. Kaka getting himself far away. They'll drop the Static Storm down. Amar's inside it, but False Promise bails him out. Rolling Thunder from Somnus, doing quite a bit of disable work here in the midst of this fight. But the only hero to have died so far is this Undying of X-Nova. Amar, though, chasing. Can't find the Burrow Strike, and they glimpse back BZM, so they don't have additional damage. Roshan does respawn though, and OG feel like they have this positioning. They know there's no more Static Storm, they know there's no more Rolling Thunder, and now they've killed the Courier, so there's no ultimate orb for Ghost. They're certainly going to be able to claim the Roshan and get the Aegis as a result of this.
Yeah, there was a massive creep wave that was pushing in bottom, but OG just had the dominant amount of vision. They had a high ground ward here on the Radiant Triangle. They had a high ground ward here in the river. They even had a high ground ward behind the Roach Pit. There was even a ward that was going in towards this Radiant mid lane as well. So OG had perfect vision about how this was going. You can just see it in the way that the team fight went out. They got an initiation onto Amar, but as soon as they know exactly where Ghost is, as soon as Ghost shows his face, BZM blinks on top of him, Yuragi TP's behind him. And you can just see that it's like, as soon as he gets one multi-shot off, they go directly onto the Drow Ranger. Ghost has to BKB, and now he has to run away. And this is where this fight for RNG goes really, really bad, because a lot of their damage purely comes from Ghost. And this is where I talked about these like kind of multi-cores and these single cores. Drow Ranger has a really good matchup in towards the Shadow Fiend as a 1v1, but now that they've got Yuragi on this Nature's Prophet, it's very, very hard for her to play these team fights because she has 2 heroes that go, I found you, I'm going to get on top of you, I'm going to try and kill you. So Ghost is going to have to try and put himself in such a good position to try and outplay BZM as well as Yuragi, but you can just see that OG understand what the target prioritization is going to be. Kill Ghost, or at least get Ghost out of a fight, and you're going to win it 9 times out of 10.
Yep. You mentioned it earlier that if Ghost is not involved in an engagement, then RNG are bereft of damage. And we saw it in that fight as well. Kaka got an okay Static Storm. There was a decent Rolling Thunder, but none of it mattered. And speaking of Rolling Thunder, the hero that has it is going to be bursted down as Somnus gets caught inside the triangle and gets himself killed. They will be able to at least take down the Tombstone as well, in addition to his life. Kaka doesn't die just yet, but Ghost might be in danger. Yuragi jumps on top of him, forces him to pop the BKB. And now that's another BKB charge. Ghost already down to 6 seconds. Dude, we're down to a 6-second BKB, and we haven't seen Ghost use it in an offensive manner. Not even a single time. OG Ascendant right now, and they're going to try again for this mid-push. There's no Rolling Thunder. They still have an Aegis. Might as well try to get the tier 3 tower at long last.
Yep, this is a tier 3 tower that they almost got through in the previous time. Now we've got the Reign of Destiny, which is something we saw from Thompson in the LCQ, but this time around there's actually been enough gold for Tiger to have his own Ags now. It's very, very hard to try and fight in some of these areas. It enables you to kind of just stand your ground, because you've got like a Sand King who wants to stand inside of his Sandstorm. You've got a Shadow Fiend who wants to stand and fight as well. So you got a full land of racks here. There's not much that RNG can do. They're 24k behind here at 31 minutes into the game. There's an Aegis on BZM. Yuragi starting to come up with his next set of items. He's got an own Hurricane Pike. He's going to have a Daedalus very, very soon. I think the fact that Tiger just has so much gold, and same with Misha as well, right? That it's just hard for them to team fight when everybody is so fat on the side of OG.
RNG, they have one last opportunity here. They only need the 1 game to get into the upper bracket, and they're going in. Somnus, they've isolated Amar, but Amar gets hit with the False Promise, so he's going to stay alive in this fight. The Reign of Destiny making things so difficult for them. They've already brought down X-Nova. Now they jump Ghost. BKB is down, and Ghost's life is forfeit. No buyback available for him. A dieback for X-Nova, and there's going to be a GG called by RNG. Despite Somnus getting a pretty sick swashbuckle at the very end of the game, it matters for Nords. They don't have the damage, they don't have the survivability, and they do not have the game. OG victorious in this first game of this 2-game set. Upper bracket is still alive here, Fluke. They can still make it, provided they get the 2-0. But with a win like this, they're well on the path to being able to do so.
Yeah, they definitely are. They're getting to a point now where we're looking at this for RNG, where they are unfortunately behind the 8 ball. That was a really good game that came in there from OG.